is Strong and Sassy. I'm sure you've been waiting for it. We have. Thank you so much for tuning in, and especially when you could be anywhere, but you choose to be here with us, and we're really grateful. Good evening and welcome. My name is Anima Animado. We'll be doing this until 8 o'clock, and we want to thank Sunseekers Tours for bringing us Strong and Sassy. Sunseekers Tours, memories of our tours are forever, making priceless memories. That's Sunseekers Tours. I'll be telling you a little bit more about them later on in the show. But tonight we're having a rather interesting conversation. We're talking about boys today, which is something that we do quite often, but we're talking about boys. And we're talking about raising boys into men that we can love. A lot of times we kind of, we will come on the show and we talk about the things that our husbands do that we don't like and all the things that happen. But ultimately, we're 50% responsible for raising them into the men that they become. So we're having that conversation tonight. I'm joined by two mothers, two wives, two cantankerous human beings. Let me just say that as well. Adipa, who is senior assassin and regular on the show, and for the first time on Strong and Sassy, Nana Equia Berme. She was my roommate in tech. Yeah, and terrorized, really terrorized, which is responsible for most of my childhood trauma. But she's joining us for the first time tonight. I'm sure you've heard on the morning show or other shows. She's an architect, very what's the word? Anyway. Okay, so Nanekia is joining us for the first time. Hello.
Hello anymore.
I'm not even going to get to how you said. Do you know how she saved my name on her phone?
No.
Okay. I'm not going to say anything about it. I know they are. Yeah. Anyway, we'll get into that conversation right after this. Welcome back. This is Strong and Sassy here on your superstation Joy 99.7 FM. And Strong and Sassy is brought to us by Sunseekers Tours. Memories of our tours are forever. Sunseekers Tours, making priceless memories. So I have Adipa and Nanekia in the studio, but I also have Caroline Ahokonu. She's a lecturer at the marketing department of UPSA, and she is joining us by Zoom. Hello, Caroline.
Hello, anymore.
Hi. Thank you so much for making time to be with us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here again.
Okay, awesome. So let's get straight into it. Let me start with you, Adipa. So let's start with the campaign that you want to launch.
Yeah.
So before we even started the conversation, Adipa walked in and announced that she's starting a campaign.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The campaign is Send Your Boy Child to the Kitchen.
Okay. So where's that from?
Because there have been over 2 decades, almost 3 decades of the campaign to send the girl child to school.
Yeah.
But I have always said, and I have consistently mentioned, that the boy child looks forgotten.
Yes.
So whilst we are sending the girl child to school, the kitchen is empty. Who should go there? Somebody must fill that space. I am saying that not literally in the literal sense, but that we must be mindful that the boy child is part of the home and also has responsibilities equal and at par to the girl child, and that it is wrong and absolutely unacceptable to divide and say that, oh, the boy must be in school, so the girl must be in the kitchen, or the girl must be in school. And what does the boy do?
Play video games.
Play video games.
Yeah.
Or watch
play
Netflix.
Football. Or play football.
Yeah. So send the boy child to the kitchen. I'm starting that hashtag today.
Okay. I think we're with you. So the hashtag is send the boys, or send our sons to the kitchen.
Yeah.
As
well.
As well. Yes. No, as well. Definitely. Okay. So that brings me to the question, Anika. Let me come to you on that. Are we responsible as mothers for the kind of men that our mothers, let me start from there. Our mothers, are they responsible for the kind of men that we are having to deal with today?
Mothers, fathers, as a family unit, I think it's a two-way effort. We can look back at our generation and how our parents modeled it for us. our fathers were kings who came home with the table laid out. And I guess our brothers grew up expecting to also get married and have table laid out for them. So yes, largely it is what is modeled before them. We being conscious of that, of course, should reflect in how we raise our sons.
Yeah.
I'm carrying 3 boys
Yes, I know.
plus a girl.
Yeah, finally. Yeah.
And therefore, I mean, for me, it's like it's a daily, thing to get them, to raise them a certain way, together with my husband, of course.
Yeah. But are you mindful of the fact that these are 3 potential husbands?
Absolutely.
Of course, when you look at them now, they don't really look like people's husbands. But you mind for the fact that these are people's husbands.
Yes.
So the little things that we as women love in our men, which they didn't know maybe how to do, or like, opening the door, being
The
kind,
chivalry.
the chivalry. Yes. Are you mindful of those things? Are we teaching them?
Yes. So, depending on which stage your boys are at, I mean, you start them early anyway, but depending on which stage they are at, because at some points they are not even, engaging with girls or whatnot. But I think it's about being conscious and keeping track of where they are, because of course there comes a time when there are things like crushes, there are only God knows crushes and rejection. They call it rejection, and they deal with that at a very, very minimal level. Really, nothing happening, but they start learning from there. And for me, I keep saying it's still the modeling before them. I mean, one of my sons, the second one, something he used to say, he can't wait to get married so he can go on dates with his wife. Because I go on when that time comes, this is mommy and daddy, you guys are not coming near this. They envy that. Why can't we come with you? I don't know. This is mommy and daddy time,
Okay.
And so it's what you are modeling for them, for the chivalry, and things like, my husband cooks, actually, unfortunately, because that means he can also judge your cooking.
Well, yeah.
But when he does go to the kitchen, it's not news.
Okay.
I'm in the kitchen, it's not news. It's really about the way I think you are modeling that to the children. And there's context as well. I've had also a scenario where because of what I do, I'm an architect, there's a lot of ladies working with me and whatnot. And at some point, one of my boys, thought architecture was a women's profession.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes, because that's what he has seen. But I get asked all the time how I'm doing in a men's
dominated.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's what is modeled before them, and really all this comes together, to what the kind of men they become.
Yes. Caroline, once again, Caroline is joining us by Zoom, so you're welcome. We're talking about raising boys into the kinds of men that we can love, and we're talking about the role of mothers. So just your initial thoughts on the kind of role that a mother would play into the kind of man that her son would become for another woman. Not just like how the man is going to become in general, but how he's going to become for
a woman.
For a woman.
Yes, anymore. It's true. From our background, I mean, the African background, we know that it's mainly the woman who does the training most of the time, because the child closes from school and comes home, she's with the mom or with the grandma or with an auntie. So most of the socialization and training is done by we, the women. And I think someone in Proverbs, the book of Proverbs says that is a woman should train a child. So a child who doesn't respect is a disgrace to them who should obey the mother's laws. And a child who doesn't respect or something is a disgrace to the father also. So once it says that a child should obey mother's laws, which means that it's mother who is doing the training. Don't do this, do that, do it this way, don't do it that way. So yes, mainly it is we women. And I'll say partly because, of course, daddies are also supposed to help support in the training. And so we mainly do the job. And so if we don't do it right, then we can take the blame, but I will not take it fully in these modern times, especially when I'm helping daddy to bring food home. Yes.
Okay. But you see, fundamentally, that brings us to the fact that whether we like it or not, it looks as if the raising of the children is on the woman.
Yeah, basically.
Which is funny because we're also finding that in modern times there are lots more house husbands.
Yeah.
And fathers who are getting more involved.
Yeah.
But then even with all of this, and I remember a few months ago, I think I may have mentioned, I was looking through Kekeli's, I think it was RME or something, and the curriculum actually differentiated between, you know, mommy's roles and daddy's roles.
Yeah.
And daddy's roles was, you know, going to work, bringing home food, and mommy was, you know, staying at home, washing, cooking, and all of that. So, I mean, we can do our best as mothers, but what is the role that society has to play in making it okay for us to change that, you know, because it's really a role thing at the heart of it, isn't it? So how do we tackle, you know, those stereotypes?
The stereotypes have been with us, but I can see it fading a bit.
Yeah.
I'm taking a cue from how my mother raised my brothers.
Okay.
My mother, a teacher, raised my brothers like us.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were dominant. We have 4 girls,
Okay.
and I have 2 younger brothers.
Oh,
But
I did.
so
Sorry
three girls, and then a boy again, and then the last one is a girl. But how my mother raised us was like, if this is a chore, it is a chore. We don't have a man cuckoo and a man cuckoo. You wash your dish, or you wash the dishes when you find them. When it is time for us all to be punished for not doing something, they won't say that, oh, not like the women or the females were supposed to do it, so I'm going to punish the females. It's like, you didn't do it. Class action. I'm going to punish all of you. So basically, I think it starts from the home as well. You know, society, what is society? It starts from the family unit. What we learn from the family unit is what we bring out there, what we expose to others, what we tell others, and what we naturally believe. So if we don't change it from the family unit, trust me, it won't change at the societal level. I mean, largely. So it is about how the modern day parent is also conscious of the fact that, daddy doesn't also go to work. I think they will always tell me, Mommy, when we're going to sleep, you were sitting. We are awake at 4 a.m., 4:30, you are still sitting. Possibly I'm working, or maybe studying, but sometimes I'm working, and I work through the night. All right? So now it isn't daddy who goes to work. It is my parents go to work, because mommy also moves out and goes to work. But that is something that we need to keep in their memories, instill in them, let them believe that the woman's role naturally is not in the kitchen, actually, but is to be the helpmeet of the man. And that is what you are. I keep on telling my son, Kofi, that you see, you think your sisters must do this. You are equally capable of doing it. Yesterday, he cooked his own yam, did his own abumu, put his own oil on it, sat with the dish and ate it. Nobody helped.
Okay.
Yes, it is because I am not supposed to come and cook your dinner when I'm tired. You must learn at 12 to cook your dinner. And if you want baye and abum, which your father loves, my friend, learn how to prepare it yourself. That is where it starts from.
Yeah.
So he cuts his own yam, boils it, does his abum. However it tastes is his kind of problem. But what matters is that I have taught him that your father loves this food, and I know you love it too. But learn how to prepare it, because your father can come into this kitchen in the next 40 minutes. There's yam and abum for the entire family. So it's about how we tell them at home and how we imbibe it in them. But when you make them da, okay, so you will have to be watching the Netflix and the new cartoons and playing the, what do they call that thing?
PS5.
PS5. And then your sister is laboring in the kitchen. Then you are naturally telling him that later on in life, when he's grown, he can cross his legs and his wife must do everything. And that is a bad way of starting a young man.
Have we stopped believing that? That, you know, he can cross his legs and his... Is this something
I have
we stopped believing?
I have stopped believing in that. For me, it is extinct.
You see, I think it's there's been an organic change in in how things happen, and it's in a lot of things, you know, even beyond this. Our living circumstances have changed.
Yeah.
True, at one point the woman was at home and the man was going away to bring the bacon, and so the roles happened in a certain way. Most of us grew up in homes with lots and lots of, extended family. There were hands. There was enough people to do the thousands of work. And yes, the man could be king. But if you are living in modern day with a small unit, probably a home not that big, and things have to be done, really. I think life circumstances will just tell you someone has to do this and someone has to do that. It's the same men in other places, or Ghanaian men go to other places, and they are able to do such things for themselves as well, and more.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
probably it's the circumstances as well. But for me, on this topic, I think one of the things that stands out is also being a mom of 3 boys. I mean, my daughter is the last, so that's a very recent experience. But there isn't much out there for boys. There's a lot of material and training and things like this, conversations and about girls and girls being that and girls doing that. There isn't much for boys. In fact, I think the last Father's Day, I heard a lot is being highlighted that we don't seem to be training boys.
Yeah.
They are just growing.
Yeah.
And so for a girl, it'll be easy to go to find somewhere we talk about singles, how to, all kinds of things, but we don't focus on raising boys, raising men. Maybe that's
do we rather focus on keeping the boys busy and getting them tired so that they will sleep? So we have things like, football, taekwondo, like go run a little bit. Let's get rid of some of the testosterone and then come back and see.
I mean, if you do have boys, and I call my house a zoo. It does come across like a zoo. The noise, the action, the jumping, the climbing, the kind of... You have seen it.
Yeah.
Yes, well, if you do have boys, that is something. I know there are some girls too that give that kind of energy, but yes, it's something that is there. And so getting boys involved in things like that, it does help. But I think I come back to the consciousness of what you are doing with the children and raising them. And the modeling is so important. The modeling before, because kids are like sponge. What they are seeing, that's what they are imbibing. That's what is their norm. What you are doing at home becomes what is their norm. So we, I guess, have to be conscious of how we reflect our activities and our responsibilities at home. I can jump to another.
Go ahead. From then I'll move to something else. I'll go to Caroline. But go ahead.
Yes. So, but in all this, I think for it's both for men and women, but especially for men, that we be conscious of raising men with responsibility, rather than entitlement.
Oh yeah.
A sense of responsibility rather than a sense of entitlement, because you can easily find you are raising children, before you know it, they feel like things have to be done for them, rather than them taking charge. And that's taking charge is traditionally also.
It's also one of the most attractive things.
I'm telling you.
I mean, that one there. Let's not.
A man who takes control.
Yeah. Sensible control. Not that you're just coming to just take control. Like, please. That's what
yes, responsibility.
Yeah.
And not entitlement. When you face a challenge, they step up. They get it done,
Yeah.
So that's also important.
That's also okay. Caroline, so let me come to you with the responsibility and entitlement issue that we're talking about. I think that we can safely say that here in Ghana, for example, we come across a lot of men who are entitled. They expect a certain sort of treatment, a certain sort of respect, a certain sort of all of that. So how do we make ourselves conscious of the fact that we need to raise children who are responsible, sons who are responsible, and not as entitled?
Yeah. Okay, so we are now in the age or the era of information, and the kind of information we give to our children will also help in their training or in their orientation or the training. So if we trace our steps back to when God created man, because he said we are raising our boys to be men, responsible men. What did God give man in the first place? God gave man work. He gave him the Garden of Eden to tender it, to dress it and to keep it, to cultivate it and to keep it. Before he added family, that is the woman coming to support him. And then they are supposed to replenish and fill the whole earth. And so primarily, a man's role is to have a responsibility. He's supposed to manage something. He should have some work doing. So when we train our children that your primary responsibility is to have some work doing, this will tell him that I don't have to be bossy. I rather have to work to cater for my family. I have to make sure that my family is comfortable, because that was a responsibility that was given to him. The man was asked to name the animals, dress, do everything. So he's supposed to do all that. So naming the animal was the first family, and then later on a support was given to him. So judging from that point, a man's primary responsibility is to work and provide for the family. Now we should imbibe these into our boys, teaching them that this is your primary responsibility. You should know that as you are growing up, this is what you are supposed to do from the beginning. And then when you have a family, you have to act responsibly. You don't have to kind of be domineering, expect to be worshipped. You have to be a servant, because that was the main job that was given to man. And we also have to be mindful of the differences that boys have over girls, so that it will help us to appreciate how we even train them. So there are physical differences, and then there are emotional differences, as well as how they solve problems. Okay, all these will help us to better mold them so that they become better people. If every night that we believe that, for example, emotionally, let me start with cognitive, how men think. They think differently. They solve problems differently. We normally say that a man brain is just single-wired, whilst a woman's brain is multi-wired. So a man can do one task at a time, and a woman is single-tasked. So with this, you realize that the man can focus on just one thing at a time. The male can focus on one thing at a time. So he can only solve one problem at a time, and not two or three problems at a time. So with this understanding, you know that when you are training your child is fixated on something, because that's where character formation also begins. So they'll be fixated on, for example, watching TV, and you want a child to come and do something in the kitchen. So just like my sister said, my boys also go to the kitchen. They also work because they are what I have. I don't have a girl to support them. I'm the only girl. And then maybe once in a while, their auntie comes around to also help. And so if the child is fixated on watching TV, you should understand that it's not like the child is being disrespectful, but because he's wired to concentrate on one thing at a time, you would have to find a creative way to get his attention. You give him time to transition, to come and listen to you on what to do. So we understanding their makeup, okay, will also help us better train them to be responsible adults in future. And their emotions, we say Bemansu in Ghana over here. Now we have to change that. Even Jesus Christ wept. Even Jesus Christ wept. Exactly. So if Jesus Christ is setting the example of me, a man, weeping, why shouldn't we encourage our boys to weep, to express that emotion? And when they express those emotions, we shouldn't even cool them down, kind of, hey, why are you doing that? No, we should allow them to express it. Then they will understand empathy, knowing that when somebody or a woman or their wife is crying, oh, she's feeling pain, she's feeling hurt, they will know better how to communicate. And because our society is made to kind of suppress their feelings, men naturally prefer to not to talk about issues, or the male species will prefer to fix, because they are people, they like to fix things. He would like to fix the problem, look for a solution. And so if you don't encourage these behaviors of talk about your problem so that we solve it together, we will raise husbands future husbands who will bottle things up and then solve it on their own instead of consulting with their wives to come up with creative solutions to their problems at hand.
Wow.
So we understanding their differences, exactly. We understanding their differences will really help us better shape them. And then in terms of language, you know, boys normally don't talk much. We women, blah 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 blah, and all that. We they say we develop faster than men. So understanding that if your child is slow in speech, you don't dump in with the way Jimmy. You see, we started from there. Wait, then you compare a guy, your boy, your male child to a female child, which is wrong when they are wired differently. So you rather encourage proper how we can even read with a child, and we need to affirm them. You know, our men like to be admired, they like to be appreciated, they like to be accepted. We should start that now. We should be admiring our children. We should be affirming them. We should be giving them positive affirmation. Oh, you are a genius. I do that to my boys. When they draw their favorite characters, you know, boys, so they'll draw the Superman, Killer Bean, and the rest. Wow, you are a genius. That's a nice drawing. Then you'll be jumping. So when we start now, so we have to have activities with them. Sometimes I watch movies with them, and I try to see their emotions. You can see that somebody has squeezed their face, so you see the emotions, which is natural. Somebody is feeling something. He's so much into it. He's open his eyes with mouth agape, watching the movie. He's so much into it, trying to get the storyline. And so when we engage in activities with them, we have to affirm them. You are this. You are a genius. I believe in you. And we have to define what is failure and what is success. Once we define that, oh, when you scrub the bathroom and I'm still seeing some traces of yellow, it means that it's not really well done. So every now and then I'm drumming excellence. You have to do everything excellently. When you start excellent, the charity begins at home. So once we are doing everything excellently from home, once you go to school, you always be an excellent student. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we've lost Caroline's connection. Yeah, I was enjoying that. But then it also doesn't it kind of bring to your mind that parenting is hard work?
It is.
Because it sounds like a lot.
It's a whole human being's
life.
Yeah.
And everything that they become.
Yeah.
So I wanted to, picking from what she said, I mean, nature versus nurture. And she did say that she brought out, you know, how different boys are from girls, how, you know, girls are naturally, and you see, so let me ask this question, because now I'm wondering whether it is actually nature or whether it's socialization. Because even when we have kids now, you find that they kind of venture towards doing different things in the house. Yeah. So for example, with our sons, nobody has sent them. They'll go and unscrew the TV and try and fix it back together.
Or break it.
Exactly. Automatically you find that, oh, your daughter is watching maybe TikTok videos on how to cook, and you know, so how do we find this balance between the things that are innately, you know, for the different sexes, but also equipping them so that the things that don't come naturally? Because honestly, I mean, you have 2 daughters, right?
Yes, 2 daughters and a son.
I had the shock of my life. I think it was like a month ago when my sister had a flat tire in the house. So I was panicking. I was like, oh God, now we have to go for a vulcanizer. By the time I realized sister has worn shorts, she's holding her Bluetooth speaker. I'm like, where are you going? Because she tie, no. Oh, I have a video of it. Oh, she has removed jack. She has done shrimp. She has changed the tie. And I was thinking,
I thought about that today.
There is nothing in me. I don't change a tie in the first place. There's nothing in me that would. I'm going to teach my daughter how to change a tie.
Yeah.
But somehow our sons, even if you don't teach them,
they know.
You'll be there and they've removed all the ties from the car.
Yes.
You know. Yes. So how do we find, a balance? Exactly.
It's about, as you rightly said, nature. So in my home, Kofi does the shopping.
Okay.
He goes to the market. He knows where tomatoes is sold, where the best Jenny in the area is sold. So when you send him, he can tell you this woman's own is better than that one. He does all the shopping for the cooking. So I just say, oh, Kofi, we are going to cook rice and maybe beef stew. Okay, so mommy, Then he will come up with the list. I should get this. You know, it's something most men don't know how to do.
Yeah.
I started quite early. He was 8 when he started going to the market with me. So I am so conscious of it. I mean, I'm intentional about him. Because I naturally, having more girls dominating in the home, he will feel superior. Because, yeah, there have been times that he's told me, when daddy's not there, I'm supposed to take care of you.
I'm the
Abi,
man
you
of
know
the
that.
house.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he goes, Abi, you know that. When daddy's not there, I'm the man of the house. So I go like, oh, really?
My son said this once. I was like, "You are afraid of the dark. Who are you come to protect in this house?"
Indeed, but it's about parents. I'm talking about both the man and the woman in the home being intentional about the male child and about raising him in a certain way. She has said it perfectly, modeling. Okay, because I doubt when Kofi grows up going to the market to buy food stuff.
But how do you model for your son what your husband does not believe in? Let's say you are right now.
Yeah.
How do you? Your husband is like, How do you model for your son when your husband doesn't believe in
If he doesn't believe in it, you believe in it. And trust me, the child spends more time with you than him. So you have the ability to tell him what the real world is, what is not and what it is, and what it can be.
Pitting him against his father.
No. It's like, don't disrespect your father. But if you do it like this, it is better. It is better done this way and by others. And if you can't model it, show it to him.
Sure.
Caroline just said, watch movies together. It's like, you see how this guy is doing the cleaning in the house. You know, maybe your husband doesn't believe that a boy should do the bathroom. Me, Kofi does the bathroom. They alternate.
Kofi.
Yes, they alternate. Yes.
Kofi is fully equipped.
Yes, but they alternate. It started by him cleaning the tiles, and now he does the floor. They alternate. He alternates with his twin sister. Yes, everybody must do something. So if even my husband doesn't believe in that, I'm telling him that this is the better way. Because when you live alone, and I always use the university, that, you will soon go to the university. When you go there, you live alone. You live in a hostel, manned by yourself. You have your own washroom. It's like a hotel room. Nobody comes there. But can you imagine your hotel, the hotel room and the toilet looking some way, you know? And it's like, oh, no, it can't be. Mommy, I don't like this. It stinks. It does this. It does that. So whilst you try to do the comparison and tell him what it's not, we don't live in an idealized world, but what is real and what he might likely encounter in his life. Trust me, as a young man, he is more inclined to listen to you than to listen to probably a naysayer who says, I don't believe in it, a man is king. Unless, of course, you are Prince Charles.
What do you think?
You know, for a lot of us, you grow up hearing your parents, usually your mom's voice repeating things to you. You come to a situation, you literally hear her in your head saying this or that, and
it never goes away.
I know it does. It's inbuilt up to now. You still hear them, you hear the things they have said, and so that's why it's important to speak, like she was saying, even with the affirmations and whatnot. You speak to them, you because it will stay with them really for life.
But sorry, I'm not interested, but then that also applies to our husbands.
Exactly.
Because I think I've heard a few men say that I can hear my wife's voice in my ear. I'll go somewhere, I can hear her. I mean, so that's just bringing it to like the importance of speaking.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then the Bible also says a nagging woman is like a tap that's
Speaking is not nagging.
So let's talk about that.
No, don't nag.
No, so, I mean, let's talk about the difference.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because in raising our sons, we shouldn't nag them.
Yes. So I recently so friends who have daughters my son's age and whatnot, it's something we talk about all the time because their girls are, they are so useful.
In life.
I'm telling you, they are so comported, so I envy that sometimes. Like we chat and it's like, look, your girl is doing this, your girl is doing that. Even with them, like in when they had to do school online, it was clear. The girls are always organized, sitting ready and whatnot. Boys are flying all over the place. So I guess there is a natural tendency for girls to be, a bit more. And like we said, we mature,
Quite
a little faster or earlier than boys. So I think just in knowing that and accepting and just realizing that is a reality, and giving some efforts in like you are saying, for the boys to, because it is an effort. I do agree with her about finding a way to transition them through one action to the other. In a way that
we haven't even mastered that with the grown men.
I know. I mean, they are, and find a way to transition them from one activity to the other, but just still let it be a part of them. You are saying you haven't changed the tire. I actually, when this topic came, I thought about that because I have no clue
how to change a tire.
I've never washed a car.
Yeah.
Because it's not. Yes, I know that's terrible, but that's the point. But my brother, well, I mean, of course, would know how to do this, and my sons already have, they have their hands on and things like that.
Morning, it's something they look for.
Yeah,
water is going in the car,
and but that's it. That's the socialization in the house. So I guess knowing that for a girl these things won't come naturally or whatnot. You open up.
Intentional about
you be intentional with the girls about that, and then you be intentional with the boys about the things that don't come naturally. Because at the end of the day, there will be a point where they're going to be on their own, and they are going to have to survive somehow.
Yeah.
And so
a friend of mine told me something this week that made me laugh. She said that, and it's about the fact that the boys can almost always only do one thing at a time, and husbands can also almost always only do one thing at a time. So she was like, she realized that she always eats with her husband, and she's never full. So one day she decided, okay, I'm going to get fufu, but what I'm going to do is that I'm going to get your fufu, and I'm going to get my fufu. So she got the fufu for him, and then for her, they were sitting down and eating. And then she realized that actually, whilst they were eating separately, she talks a lot during the eating. So she was talking, and he was not contributing to the conversation.
He was
focused on
the
eating.
food. So then he finished eating, and then he was like, you haven't finished your fufu. She was like, no, I'm still eating. And he was like, oh, give me some. And she was like, no, I'm not going to give you some. I'm going to eat my food. Then she ate the food. And she said that's the first time since they got married that she has eaten and she's full. So she's learned the secrets. When we are eating together, no talking.
Or separate.
Yeah, or separately. So basically, I mean, it's just affirming the fact that really men or our boys can really just focus on one thing at a time. So I guess even in raising them, you know how you can tell your daughter, oh, do the bathroom
and then do that,
as well as you do. But I also think that because of the way that men are, we as mothers, we get tired of raising them, because if you have a boy and a girl doing the same task, you find that the girl is able to do more. So you're just like,
and better.
Like, go and play football or something. And
just wear yourself out and
come get this done and over with. But so that is why I'm saying that be intentional about it. It's about intentionalism. Just be intentional about it. I mean, just keep your focus, laser focus on him, knowing that he's able to do one thing at a time, and his focus is short-lived. Because it's either this or that. But for the woman, it's this, and that.
I want to ask a question.
Is this, and on the way to that, do that and that, and just in case, prepare for this in the event.
Yes, but for a man, it is go bring that thing,
and
that is it.
That's it.
Then another instruction is issued.
Then we go to the next one.
Yes. So be intentional, and then be intentional about helping
all the
them
way to our
multitask.
fathers.
Is it even possible?
It is. It is. I've realized that it is. It's a painstaking activity. It's painful, but you have to be intentional about it as well. It's like give him 2 or 3 instructions and then come back later and say, but why didn't you do the other 2? You must be able to do that. Yes.
So, I mean, when we're talking to our sons, does it also mean that you should keep in mind that you cannot be as expressive, or you can't give the instructions in plenty words, like the way you would with that's because when you're talking to your husband, any wife, anybody who's been married for a long time knows that the best way to get your husband to understand what you're saying is to get to the point as quickly as possible and with as little words as possible.
Yeah.
Why have you covered your
But you need to give it's not just one thing. There's a reason why it's getting there. You need to.
They don't want to know. But the husbands don't want to know.
Does
Does it mean that when you are teaching the sons, you don't have to be as detailed?
You must. Because attention to detail is not a thing for the woman only. Trust me, in this our current world, globalized world, attention to detail is one skill that any employer, or if you are supposed to go or come up with your own company, it's something that will make you stand out. So attention to detail is attention to detail, and it's not male or female, or it's not stereotyped.
Okay.
So you have to teach them.
All right. Well, it's about 12 minutes to the end of the show. We're going to go on a quick break. But when we come back, I'd love to hear from you. So our text lines are open. They have been open. 055 11997. Text us and tell us what you think about raising boys into men that we can love. But let me tell you about Sunseekers Tour. So life is for living and for making memories. So let the good times roll. Think fun, laughter, new experiences, excitement, exotic foods, amazing locations, and wait, all of that without breaking the bank. Impossible? No. Completely possible with Sunseekers Tours. So Sunseekers Tours has been around since 1992, and with almost 30 years of operations, you're always in safe hands, whether you're going to Dubai, Singapore, Cape Verde, Bolgatanga, the Netherlands, or France. You tell us where, we'll take you there. Call Sunseekers Tours on 020-204-4102 or 020-204-4103. Check out our amazing deals and packages at www.sunseekerstours.com and find us on social media, Facebook Sunseekers Tours Ghana, and on Instagram Sunseekers Tours GH. Sunseekers Tours, memories of our tours are forever. Sunseekers Tours, making priceless memories. And first week of September, Strong and Sassy with Sunseekers Tours will be going to Zanzibar. So I'll be telling you more about that. We're going to have a lot of fun and chill. So more details on that coming up soon. But let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be getting interactive with you. This is still Strong and Sassy. We'll be right back. All right, this is still Strong and Sassy. We're talking about raising boys into men we can love, which is such a loaded topic. So another story. I have another story for you guys. A friend of mine was sick. So Tuesday morning, my phone rings. Hello, it's her boyfriend. Oh, hi, so and so is sick. There's no food in the house. I don't know what to do. I'm like, he was like, yeah, like I don't know what to do. What do I give her? She's sick. She has a cold. I said, I wanted to give her soup, but I don't know. Should I just go to a chop bar and buy soup? Should I just do this? I was like, so then there was a whole organization. How do we train our boys to be functional, in the home with things, with things like that, like, making food or, cutting your pregnant wife's toenails, there's these little details that when men have them as qualities, they are exceptional men. But then who is going to teach them? You. Like when you marry them?
No, when they are young. That's why my campaign should go viral.
It should. So are you teaching Kofi to do manicure and pedicure?
Yes, he cuts my nails when I need it.
Kofi.
Yes.
Kofi.
Everything. You see, he's the girl's brother and he's big brother. And big brother must learn how to serve.
Braid hair?
No, that's one he doesn't. But he loves doing things with cloths, art. I can see that he loves art and he's creative. So recently I saw him doing crocheting, but it's just that it's addictive and it takes him off his books. So I have to stop him. But during the vacation, if he wants to go ahead to learn how to crochet and create things out of create crochet bags and clothes and other things, why not?
But that's creativity.
Yes, but the cooking, that's why he prepared.
But then that's cooking. But then I'm talking about the extra things. So the painting of toenails, the braiding of hair, the things that we as women, there are some things that when your man can do for you, is another level. But my question is that is there an end to what we must teach our sons, and then allow the women that they go on to love to then continue? I don't know if you're getting the question.
I get you. No, there's no end to the teaching.
I mean, obviously, we can't teach our sons how to give great orgasms, for example.
No.
I mean, but or
Obviously.
are we supposed to?
No.
So who is going to teach them? Their fathers?
Probably they must have milk
That's if
conversations.
they themselves have mastered the art of. Wow, that's why you are being very modest. All right, okay, let's move on then. This is when I miss Isinam. Yeah. Yes, Naniki, I'm listening.
So, so in there's things that are general. Men are, women are, men are, women are. In fact, even for like relationships and whatnot, men are like that, women are like that. People rely a lot on this general big
Stereotyped
idea. But you see, beyond that, there's also individuality. And as parents raising boys, raising girls, and whatnot, I think it's important to discover or to allow the children's personalities to also drive this this shaping that we are doing, so that we are also not enforcing something that is not natural to them.
Okay.
Yes. So I think it's about being, and it comes back to my word. I think my word for today is just being conscious. Being conscious of that child and what is specific about that child, and honing that in a way that makes them still, functional. And
are there some questions that we must teach our sons how to answer, though? For example, you have a conversation with a son and you tell him, listen, if your wife ever asks you, is she fat? You look surprised, you jump back and you say, of course not, my love. I mean, are there, those very, do we teach them? Are we just throwing them out there into the world for their wives to have emotional meltdowns when they answer questions like, yes, you have fat, you have grown very, very, very fat? Well, my mother told me to be honest.
That's very interesting, but I think
it's a personality thing.
It's about
personality.
Yes,
thing.
but also as a mother, being real with your boy. I showed him my stretch marks, and he asked me, how did this come about? And I said, okay, it came about because I got pregnant with you. Like, oh, does it hurt? I said, no. Well, does it itch? He asked a series of questions, and they came like a barrage.
They are very
because
interested.
He was quite surprised I had something like that on my skin, and he was like, oh, does it hurt you? Does it itch? So, and then I roped him in somehow into, like, can you get me my pad, the blue one? Oh, mommy, no, the blue one is light. Do you want the green one, which is heavier?
Oh, Kofi.
No.
Oh,
so that
Kofi.
You are not surprised when you are
sure.
with a woman or your twin sister and she starts bleeding somehow strangely, and you go like, yes, so there are no surprises.
Wow.
Yes, there are no surprises.
That's very intensive.
Yes. Get me the sanitary pad, or get me the tampon.
Yeah.
I want the blue or the green. So he asked, is it the blue or the green? Because, okay, the yellow or the green.
There are some men who don't even want to touch a pad.
He does.
No,
and if I say, guy, I forgot to bring this to the bathroom, but I need this in the bathroom, can you help? He does it.
He knows what to go
When
for.
my back hurts, he's the one who does it. It's like, mommy, do you want me to turn it to the left or to the right? Where does it hurt most? Teaching him empathy, teaching him to know that a woman breaks down most times and needs the help of a man.
Wow.
Yes, that's why I'm saying that you have to be intentional about the male child.
But how do you do all of that without creating an inappropriate mother-son bond? Because what you are doing is that you are teaching him how to be a husband. But how do you teach him how to be a husband without him feeling then like he is your husband?
No.
So then even when he gets married, because we see that too a lot with mothers and sons who are very close, and then it becomes a problem.
For me, the intention is not to unnecessarily bond. That's not the intention.
It's teaching him, but bonding is a byproduct of that.
Yes.
I mean, blue or green is.
In as much as I'm intentional in teaching him about things about women, about things about life, I'm also intentional about being a mother. I stop my authority. and you don't come into my room without knocking. I mean, there are rules.
Yes.
And he doesn't cross it. You can't cross it.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you want to add something to it? We're pretty much done, out of time, but do you want to add something?
You know, like I said, my kids are
a bit younger.
Still younger. I'm still learning the ropes. For now, I'm dealing with the energy and the fights in the zoo.
Yeah.
But we see, like, the older one is calming down now. He's becoming, you know.
He will.
Yes, and is becoming more aware of his surroundings and what's not, conscious of himself and things like that. It's coming. And
do you find that boys, when they start coming out like that 11, 12, they're actually very sensitive?
Extremely
and
sensitive.
we kill that sensitivity.
Extremely
the way that we
sensitive.
raise them.
Extremely sensitive.
So it's us.
No, now it's like, you know, the conversation, sometimes the things that come out is like, this boy, do you think I'm your wife? You know? Like the kind of expectations, like, you won't even ask me this for so and so and so, guy.
Like, you're my son.
Yeah, guy.
Yeah.
This.
Anyways, we've run out of time. I can't even get to your messages. I'm really, really sorry, but thank you for all of you who texted. Thank you, Caroline, as well, who joined us on Zoom. Maybe we should have more of conversations like this as well, because I mean, we always talk about men and the issues that we have with them, but I think as mothers and as women, if we would commit to raising, you know, the kind of qualities that we want to see in men and our children, then we could perhaps make the world a better place for the next generation of women that are coming. My name is Anima Do. We'll do this again next week, Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you to Sun Seekers Tours who bring us Strong and Sassy. Stay well.
Joy 99.